All right. We are live this morning. I was not expecting to be on, but we are here. It is good morning, but it is a bittersweet morning. We are coming live with breaking news that one of the gospel giants of our generation has taken flight. Has taken flight. And so, yes, Ricky Dillard, according to his official Facebook page, um, yeah, according to his official Facebook page, he has transitioned. Give me 1 second. So it is being reported via his official Facebook page that he has taken flight. And so um, we always come together when we have passings of note. Um, yeah, we always come together and I offer a link if anybody would like to come up and say anything. And so we don't know the cause of death. We don't know what happened. We just know a giant now sleeps. And so it is important that you thumbs up the video so that other people can get in the know and whatnot. So please thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, and also share the video to other like-minded individuals. Ricky Dillard's catalog. I'm trying to wait on some information from our Washington D.C. Tie Squad Bureau. That's why I keep looking at my phone. But Richard Smallwood. Richard Smallwood. Richard Smallwood is a really, really, really fundamental, foundational artist for gospel music, especially when it comes to praise and worship and some of the great songs that we all have come to know and enjoy in the Black church experience. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for signing on. I'm not going to be long. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I try to get a little me time in, a little quiet time, and try to do things I need to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we only have Patreon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But whether it is I Love the Lord, which you heard in my intro, or whether it is the center of my joy, you just named just all of the great songs from his catalog of music. They have fundamentally changed the gospel music landscape. And we don't use the word maestro or mastro lightly. We don't use that. There are people that master music. There are people that are fundamentally gifted in I'm trying to formulate the perfect words, y'all, because you don't want to just be coming on giving just any old lamentations or salutations for somebody like this. But there are so many people that shift. That's the word. That shift how we feel when we hear chords, when we hear melodies. Does that make sense? Anybody can write a song. Anybody can arrange a song. Anybody can. But I think that there has to be something divine. There has to be something divine in you. There has to be a connection to the divine so that when you hear chords, the music heals your mind, your body, and your spirit. Yeah. The list just goes on and on and on and on and on. And so, at every homegoing service, one of his songs is going to be in that first 20 minutes. Usually in the first 20 minutes, you're going to hear one of his songs, or you're going to hear it at the closing of the bear, or you're going to hear it at the processional. You're going to hear it. He was a true musician and composer. And so, that's why I say these things right here, when people leave us, of such note and such stature, it is important, everybody, please support our gospel legends and icons, whether they have a show at the city winery or whether they have a show at a large venue, at a stadium. Please support our artists, because a lot of times in their older years, it's not like when Madonna or Mariah Carey or Tina Turner settles down in their later years. It's not the same. Gospel is an industry that Black artists are not supremely wealthy, so it's important that we support them, buy their music and legally, and support them and whatever they do, whatever projects they have out, whether it's a book, whether it's a music, support them. His merging of gospel and classical music was genius. It was. So, oftentimes once our giants leave, then people start talking about, oh, he was this, he was that. But did you support it? Did you stream anything? Did you download anything? When he was in town, did you go and support? That was the questions I always have to ask people, because everybody gonna be on social media with all these mini eulogies. But okay, let me be good, y'all. Let me be good. It's just a question that I have to ask. What have you done? What have you done for the person lately? That's all I'm asking. And so we're losing so many giants, and now it is a reminder. It is a reminder that who we're left with. And so many people say, are we in capable hands? The question today is, are you in good hands? Shout out to Allstate. So, that's the reminder. When we start losing people, we still have Shirley Caesar, we still have John P. Key, Vanessa Tremaine, but some of the older guard are leaving here. And so it is a stark reminder. I see somebody, let me see. I see somebody earlier said something. I want to address it. Total praise hit different, yeah. I will lift my hands and give you total praise. Somebody by the name of Florida 79 said, God is getting his people out of here. Let me say this. I don't, and no harm meant to you, brother, but can I be honest with y'all? I don't really subscribe to 2025 is the people leave. I don't subscribe to that. I think we are appointed a time. We're appointed a time to be born, and we are appointed a time to leave out of here. And I just think that God knows the day, he knows the hour, he knows everything. If God is going to be infinite in his wisdom is infinite. So yeah, but I don't really subscribe to a lot of the, y'all know. I just think like God is all knowing. He knows the day that you were going to be born, and he knows the day you were going to leave up out of here. Now, I believe we can do things that can prematurely get us up out of here a little earlier than on schedule, but he knows that as well. Well, a lot of people say that, Michelle Holly. God created the earth and people who harvest it while we are here. Yeah. So, we gotta, those of us that are alive and remain, we gotta do our best to keep these traditions alive and make sure, people know that these people existed. Yeah. We all have an appointment. Well, Edna Tatum said, we all have a reservation at some cemetery without the privilege of cancellation. That's what Edna Tatum said. You have to leave here, including me, your host. I will leave here one day. I don't want to go today, but I will leave here one day. Yeah, when our assignment is up, we go home. It don't have anything to do with a year. It don't have nothing to do with no, you know, a lot of our traditional stuff, you guys, it's a lot. Ooh, honey, the death angel, yeah. I don't ascribe to a lot of that stuff anymore. I was actually thinking about doing a mid-afternoon show, y'all, about an article I read in Axios. I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, when I get back from my errands, I may do a mid-afternoon show, and then we have Patreon. I knew Edna Tatum. She was, we call her the thesaurus, the gospel thesaurus. Just jumping on. Oh, for those that are coming in, we regret to inform you that the great gospel music icon, Richard Smallwood, has taken flight. He has transitioned at the age of 77. He has transitioned at the age of 77, and we are so grateful that we got a chance to know him. Yes. We are so grateful that we got a chance to experience a great person. I think it is harder during the holidays. It does. Please do the mid-afternoon show. I don't like old people saying either. Yeah, I have a show that I'm probably going to be doing, but I got to get out of here because this was not planned. Michelle, this is not in my planning today to be coming on here. Hey, Samarta, coming on here talking about the Mastro. Condolences to the family. Yes. Yeah, but I tell y'all, a lot of the terminology of the Black church, I mean, I don't know. Ooh, child. People dropping like flies. Oh, the death angel is all. No. People are dying right now in hospitals all across America. It ain't got nothing to do with no specific angel. It's just a part of the cycle of life. It's a part of the cycle of life. I want to thank everybody for all of the compliments on our show last night, our top 10 show. I appreciate all of that love and support. It meant the world to me to have everybody come through last night. It was just a really great vibe and great show. I appreciate every last one of you. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to drop the link. If there's anybody that would like to come up and give any type of remembrances or you have anything to say about Richard Smallwood, we're going to allow for the Tyesse Report audience to come up. Okay. We're not going to be long because it don't take all day to remember nobody. Okay. There is a link. We will allow for anybody that would like to come up and say anything about his life and his music. There was a blessing to you. If there is nobody to come up, we will be leaving at this time. Thank you, Antonio Thompson, for $20. I appreciate you, brother. We will allow maybe 30 seconds to get people situated, and then we will be getting up out of here. Is there anybody? Will there be one? Will there be one person at this time? Yeah, will there be one? Hey, Larry, is there one person? Did the man do anything for one person in the audience where they can hit the link and say a few words? I hate to do a Denise Clark Bradford on y'all. I thought one of her daughters would be strong enough to get up here and get on the mic. Well, I guess since ain't nobody coming up, I guess I'll preach the service. I knew you have the news, Lord, the gospel community. Yeah, Larry. It's really a lot right now. Okay, since ain't nobody coming up, I'll preach the service. Okay, Crystal, I know. Can we get somebody from the hospitality community to go and sit with Crystal? One of the nurses board, please go sit with Crystal. Michelle, rub Crystal in the center of her back. I heard Stephanie Mills say that when she was in her house and she was about to take what she was considering taking her own life, it was gospel music that brought her back from the brink. I'm going to put a button on there. We do have somebody in the green room. Joanne, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I just had to come on. I was just thinking about a couple of the songs that really moved me and ministered to me through my life.
Yes.
And the one and there are so many. He has so many
Yeah.
hits and things that we um, sang in church, praise and worship. But the song "Healing," when he talks about there's a balm in Gilead and how there's healing for your soul.
Mm-hmm.
I It still resonates with me even now that God provides the healing, and sometimes it don't show up like we want it to. But I love that He said there is a healing. He didn't talk about or prescribe the exact kind of method that God would deliver the healing through, but there is a healing and for our soul. And so that's the thing that has kept me. I think about that song often when I get discouraged or I look at the situation of the world and even how we abuse the earth. And I think about his song a lot. There's a healing.
Yeah.
And so, and that there is a balm in Gilead, a balm, a BALM, because I used to call it a bomb, BOMB.
Terry Clark did too.
But a balm, a BALM.
Mm-hmm.
So but there is a balm in Gilead, and I am grateful for the opportunity to share that. But thank you, I love you, and I love you, Thai Squad.
And I told you you would turn your key in your door at home. Thank God you made it home safely.
You did say that. I thought about that when I pulled up. I said,
Mhm.
Ty said I'd turn that key. You did.
Yeah, all right.
Love you.
Love you. Hey, Sister Sarah.
Hey, Is, how are you?
I am just maintaining.
First of all, let me just say, great show last night.
Thank you.
It was a great show. I enjoyed it. I kind of looked at this flyer. Everybody is doing this artwork,
Yeah,
and it all looks the same.
yeah.
And I didn't really read it. I was just like, "No, what is going on now?" Because I know that he had a birthday. I think not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got your alert, I said, "Oh, this is real," because if East is going live in the middle of a work day, uh, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
So there will never ever be another Richard Smallwood ever again. Um, the classics that he has written. Um, and the crossing over to capture all audiences. I have a hymnal. Some of his music is in the hymnals that we have. I
Yeah.
mean, you can just total praise is just universal. You can sing that anywhere, anytime, and guarantee to rip up the church or whatever the program is. So, um, but he's made it to the other side, and so he has a new body,
Yeah.
and he is whole now on the other
Yeah.
side. So we just pray for his family and stuff. And I know it's got to be hard when you lose someone of this magnitude. I can't even imagine all of the celebrations that are going to take place to celebrate him and the work that he's done. But we are truly grateful for the work that he's done. The music he has given us is timeless, and we won't see this again in our lifetime.
No, we said that when Aretha passed away in Whitney. That was just complete. It was just it's complete. There's
Yeah,
nothing else.
it is finished.
It is finished. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah, for such beautiful words. Love you, sis.
Love you too. Bye bye.
All right. Also, lift up our very own Tim Bree. She has a unique connection to DC gospel music. So I haven't been able to touch bases with her, but if you're in the you know connectivity mode with her, reach out to her because she is very, very ingrained in DC gospel music culture. So hit her up and send some love her way as well. But what I was saying is, I saw a documentary when Stephanie Mills talked about how when she was considering taking her own life, it was the healing power of gospel music that gave her pause and brought her back from the edge. And I know that to be true because gospel music will heal whatever is aching and hurting in your heart. Gospel music is like a conduit to God, heaven, uh, whatever you want to call it, the celestial plane, the ancestral, whatever. It is a conduit, in my opinion. And so, not all gospel music, in my opinion, can tap into that thing you need. Not all. I think God is God is always supposed to be at the center of gospel music, right? He's supposed to be. But I also think it's something about the artist and the writer's personal connection with God. That's when you get that connection. Does that make sense? Anybody can be a gospel artist. Anybody can be a writer or composer. But it has to be something with your connection to the divine where it can connect the way it connected to us on this side, right? Some people call it the anointing, some people call it oil, but you know when it's there and you know when it's not there. I can listen to something and it can be very, very melodically like, hey, it can be, I can be in tune with it. Like, okay, this is a bop. But if I'm in my house and I feel like I'm losing my mind, will I run to that artist? No, I won't. I know the artists, the songs, and the music that, well, that's what they say, Theo, the anointing breaks the yoke. The old saints used to say that. I know who to go to, who to put on, who to listen to. I love Whitney Houston singing I Love the Lord. I play it often. She did a phenomenal job with I Love the Lord by Richard Smallwood. The overture at the end of the song always gives me chills, right? Let's continue to celebrate our icons and legends while we can, while they are here, so they know they are loved. So when they leave this existence, this consciousness, everything will be complete. They won't leave here wondering, confused. They will know they poured all and we received all, and we're grateful for that. Yeah. Okay, I think Crystal got herself together.
Sorry with my dramatic self.
Mhm.
Hey, Ty Squad. First and foremost, thinking about Timbri and Naida, who shared a connection with Dr. Smallwood in the chat. Love you, sis. What a blessing to have known him and ministered with him, right? As I come from a singing family, so we grew up singing. We would catch buses from Chicago down to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and as little kids, we were exposed to all kinds of music, and my love for Richard Smallwood came, I'll be honest with you, because I was bribed into it because of my love for Roberta Flack. And as I got older, I then understood that they were at Howard University together, and just the rich music, that came out of the DC area. Shout out to Tim Bree, at that time, and Richard Smallwood and Roberta Flack, and moving into Angela Winbush, and hearing their legacy, and folks like Layla Hathaway and Donny Hathaway, and I can go on and on and on. But some of you know that I have a cousin who is a recording artist right now, Kenny Lewis, from Kenny Lewis and
One voice.
One Voice. And so we grew up, learning, music and learning parts. And it wasn't until I was probably in my late teens and my early 20s, the community choir scene, was now everything for us in Chicago in the late 80s and the early 90s. And he went on to do Ricky Dillard, and I went on a smaller, more low-key direction. But my minister of music, it didn't matter where we went. People would talk about us because we didn't always do the bangers. We were going to do maybe one out of a set of 4. We might do one banger. But I tell you what, if we had 4 songs to sing, 2 of them were going to be Richard Smallwood, because he loved Richard Smallwood so much. And that rubs off on you.
Mm-hmm.
And, just over the years, you mentioned it, Ty, you can't go to a celebration of life, a homegoing service, some people even still call them funerals. You can't go to one today for someone that, was spiritual at all, and not hear a Richard Smallwood song somewhere there. And as a person who, was called to minister those songs to families, just did 2 weeks ago. This is something. And we know, we believe that there is something, beyond this. And I tell you what, if for some reason there isn't, this man lived a life that touched so many lives. I just have to believe, he is going to gain reward. I love y'all. That was a whole bunch of rambling, but this is a lot this morning. Be well, everyone.
We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you, Crystal. Thank everybody for coming by and remembering Richard Smallwood. We will keep you abreast. I'm sure there will be many celebrations of lives and services and memorials in the coming days, in the coming weeks. But I would like to leave you with scripture at this time. For if we know if this earthly house of tabernacle shall dissolve, we have another building not made by hand. One more time. For if we know if this earthly house of tabernacle shall dissolve, we have another building not made by hand. We have somebody else in the green room. We will be making room for anybody that would like to come up and say anything at this time. Hey, Brother Theo.
Hey, good morning, Elder. How you doing? Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Man, this is rough right here. As a musician, Richard Smallwood was like, there's no words to describe his music. And one of the things that I always loved about Richard Smallwood's music is that he became the soundtrack of whatever year that he brought out an album.
Mm-hmm.
Always one signature song, whether it was Healing, Total Praise, Trust Me, so many more to name. And it was almost like he knew what to write at the right moment. And it went across all nationalities, all genres. You'll see it overseas, everything that worked, and just even remembering his work, and I have a lot of musician friends that work with him when he would come in town into the city, as well as just just some very iconic gospel legends that just the respect they had for him, and not only that, but that he was able to merge that classical and gospel in such a way that many couldn't do, and take that classical training and then bring his pen in and put that gospel sound to it, and really just make he was an icon, a trailblazer, someone that had a unique, like you were talking about, like there's certain songs even today that we hear, and there's no weight to it. And what I say about Richard Smallwood is that his writing always had weight to it. There was a depth of glory to it. It wasn't what I call some of this stuff now just fluffy gospel.
Yeah.
So so this is really a sad day, especially for me, as a musician again, and also, I just my mother's pastor's wife, who was like my first pianist or model teacher, just transitioned before Christmas.
Oh
So
wow.
as
Condolences.
but I'm just grateful that I was alive to be able to experience and to be on the earth at the same time that we had such a legend. I know that his songs will live beyond his time on this earth. There's certain people that write songs that live beyond them, and so I'm just grateful just to be able to say that I experienced that. Trying to play some of his songs, didn't get them all right, but I was grateful for this experience. Thank you, Elder.
Thank you so much. Hey, Naida, surrounding you with love and solace today. How are you doing today?
Thank you. And I want to share condolences with us all,
Mm-hmm.
because whether or not we sang under the leadership of Mr. Smallwood, he was definitely in our homes on a regular basis if we had anything to do with the church. If we grew up in church, he was definitely in our Sunday schools and in church services. But he was also in the quietness and stillness of turbulent times in our lives, as you brought up. And so I want to share condolences with everyone.
Yes.
We've lost a giant. A giant ascends today. And I want to talk a little bit in tribute about the personality of Richard Smallwood. When you're in the Washington, D.C. area, it's one of those centers, small, powerful areas where, because of your locale, you have the opportunity to be in spaces with people you'd never imagine. And because of that, I've had the honor and pleasure of singing with and for the likes of Richard Smallwood. And I've also had the pleasure of, how do I say this, eavesdropping
Mm-hmm.
or being in earshot or eyeshot of personality. And this is kind of where you see celebrity leave a human and you see them for who they are. And this was a few years ago. We were at the National Harbor for an event, and we sang a tribute to him. Um, I usually sing soprano. I this time sang tenor, and there is, I will say, there is humor in this man. I'm going to speak of him as if he's still alive on the side, because we never die completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's hilarious, incredibly witty, and he was so until later in his life on this planet. Um, a master of his craft. And whether he wrote the song or not, he knew how it was to sound. And he knew he had to be the one to edit live and on the spot. Not in a way that would embarrass you, but do so with love. And to be under correction of that is not humbling in a bad way, but it's like, oh, yes, I'm reminded in this moment that the master is in the vicinity, who wrote the song that we've celebrated for many years and who desires for it to be ministered a specific way. And so when when you are able to hear humor, to see the humanity, it
Yeah,
removes the mysticism of a person.
it
This
does.
like deifying quality that we tend to give celebrity kind of allows us to see, okay, this is a person who's a human like
Mm-hmm.
me, and he's funny, or he's particular,
Yeah,
or he's showing now that he's the one who wrote this. I'm just honored. I'm just ah I feel a way. And I'm sorry to be at a loss right now, you guys. I'm not sad because I've had that experience, but I'm sad because I know I'll never have it again.
yeah.
And he is a giant. We a giant ascended today. And I know that God is pleased and honored by the work and the legacy that this man has left for us all to just enjoy and be able to minister and to connect to God through his words, his songs. So thank you all for letting me emote and kind of express. This is live, raw reaction to this news. Thank you, Tyesse, for bringing it to the attention of many of us. I wasn't on social media, so I didn't see it until I saw your post. So thank you. And again, condolences to us all. I love you all. And special condolences to Richard Smallwood's family and close circle of friends. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Naida. Brother Brian, you're up next.
Hey, Ty, how you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Can you hear me well? Because I'm in my car,
I
and I
can
don't
hear
know
you
if there's a
crystal clear.
praise God, praise God. Well, happy New Year, Thais. Happy
Thank
holidays. I'm telling you, this hit me hard. This hit me hard. I grew up, listening to Richard Smallwood, so I love Naida coming up and sharing her experiences one on one with him because I never got to meet him. But his music played such an important role in my life. Um, Many people don't know that I am a classically trained violist and cellist, and so I spent a lot of time, elementary all the way to grad school, you know, really working on my craft in addition to singing, which is my main passion and my main instrument.
Yeah.
When people think about classical music, they usually think of whiteness. They usually think of non-blacks.
Yeah.
But classical music and opera have a rich black history, a rich black origin, and a lot of that stems from almost like opera symbolizing a type of eliteness, elitism, and education in music. But anti of what the young man from Maverick City has said about gospel music and singers singing too loud. I think Richard Smallwood, his presence, his um his expert knowledge and skill of classical and gospel music stands at a as a anti against that young man's statement.
Mm-hmm.
Black music and black gospel music is rich of people who know their craft, who are knowledgeable of classical, jazz, rock, just different genres of music. And so, growing up as a person who played the viola and spent a lot of my time in orchestra where there was majority white students, Richard Smallwood's presence meant something to me. Because I would go to church, I was singing the gospel choir, I'd sing, but then when I went to school, I would be in classical music. So he symbolizes not just the synthesis of both, but it's okay to be black, to be black in classical music, and it's okay to be black in classical and gospel. I
Yeah.
thank God for Richard Smallwood's life. I thank God for his music, and I thank God for the movement of the Holy Spirit through his song, through his writing, and everything. Thank you, Thais, and God bless.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. And thank you, Brian, for talking about that racial situation concerning opera music and classical music. It's something that people don't really talk about a lot. Thank you, brother. People don't talk about it. They don't talk about it a lot. So that was just refreshing to hear Brian talk about that. There is a component of racism that went right through classical and opera music. Some people don't remember that um, um, Marian Anderson. She was one of the first Black people to perform at the Metropolitan Opera House. If I y'all, I'm getting old, but she was one of the first. And that was like in the 50s, y'all. You know, that was in the 50s. And so it's been a lot. It's been a lot that we've been through as a people, but God is faithful. Um, yeah. All right, everybody. I think we're complete. If anybody else would like to come up, we got one more opportunity to hit the mic, and I'm gonna try to come back around here. Um, I was actually gonna go live from Starbucks because I'm gonna go get me a medicine ball, but I can scrap that now and just I'll do my midday live. I'll do my midday live on a topic. I read this article in Axios, and I gotta talk about it, y'all, because it's so good. So yeah. So we'll do that probably around 3:30. I would say 3:30. I'm about to run to the cleaners, Starbucks, Home Goods, grocery store. It's like a whole thing I'm about to do. Okay. Starbucks, dry cleaners, Home Goods, grocery store. All right. All right, everybody. Have a phenomenal day. Let's continue to lift up the legacy and the life of Richard Smallwood. I will keep you abreast of any homegoing services. And we'll get that to you as soon as we know of anything. There's one person. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Alicia.
Hey Ty, can you hear me?
I can.
So, I'm up late every night because I'm packing.
Yeah.
And I got a call from the moving company, and I just so happened to look at my phone and saw that you went live almost an hour ago. And I just saw that you posted that Richard Smallwood passed. And I've always loved his music.
Yeah.
And when I became a Christian in 91, I I I didn't, believe it or not, well, it's easy to believe for a lot of people, but I didn't I like the contemporary gospel. I didn't listen to the black radio station growing up because I like the praise and worship. I like the instrumental. I didn't always like the shouting music.
Yeah.
And when I heard Richard Smallwood, my cousin actually sung "Total Praise" at her sister's funeral. And when I heard "Total Praise," I thought that was the most. That song was so it is not was it is so beautiful, and it's timeless. I think you can put that song in any period and it'll still be beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love all his music, but it's something about Total Praise. It's something about Total Praise that will always, stand out in my mind. And just to know that he's passed, it's just really sad, and but I will tell you, when I first saw him, I was lusting a little bit because he's my kind of man. Light, highlight like that, yellow like that. And I just thought he was so handsome, and I loved his music, and it's just I'm just sad in my spirit. I really am, because he I didn't know him personally. I never saw him. I saw a lot of artists live, but he just had a quiet, gentle spirit.
Yeah.
Very talented, very anointed, but he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't he didn't appear to be showy. He didn't have to be he didn't have to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
You know, he seemed like the type of person that was willing to bring the best out of everybody else. And if he didn't get his accolades, it was okay because it was all about you. That's the impression that I got about him. But I didn't want this time to go by and me not say something,
Yeah.
about him, because it seems like the quiet ones, the ones that don't come in the room shouting and making noise, it seemed like the quiet ones are the ones that people tend to forget,
Yeah. That's
and they tend to get overlooked. And I didn't want this moment to go by without me saying something about him.
well. Thank you for coming up and sharing your heartfelt remembrances, and we're with you, Alicia, and we thank you so much. We thank you for being vulnerable enough to share um, your thought processes on today. Thank you so much.
And thank you for letting us know about it, Ty. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
Oh wow, 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 wow. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm good, Ty.
I know your heart is a little heavy. I can feel it before you even said anything. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard. I appreciate you taking the time. Hey, everybody. Um, I was not going to click on the link because I saw you were about to sign off, but
Mhm.
I had to come up here to say something to help process this.
Yeah.
Um, I met Richard through his music before I met him in person. I remember coming back from a band competition and sitting in the back of the activity bus. I was in the ninth grade, eighth grade or ninth grade, sitting in the back of the activity bus, and one of the students on the bus had a cassette. That's when we had the boom box, and you pop the cassette in, and you can
Mhm.
rewind and fast forward. And she was playing "Jesus, You're the Center of My Joy" on that boom box. And I sat there dumbfounded, listening to the harmony and the range of the Richard Smallwood singers, even before I knew that's who it was that was making that music come out of
Yeah.
that jet box. And I asked Crystal, I was like, Crystal, who is that? What is that song? And she let me borrow that cassette tape because I told her I was going to go home and make a copy of it. That's when they had the dual cassette decks. You could put a blank one in. You remember that, brother?
I
And you
remember it.
and you could press record and play and
Mhm.
record a copy. Well, I recorded my copy, but I never took that cassette back to Crystal because I kept it. And I that's how I fell in love with his music and grew to love it, and would one day eventually meet Richard Smallwood, uh, and had the chance to host him twice um, at my church, where I was a minister of music in Charlotte, North Carolina,
Mhm.
and grew to become very, very good friends with him. Folks, the world of music, not just church music, not just gospel music, but the world of music has lost an icon.
Yeah.
This is this is heavy. This is meaningful. This is significant. And I challenge any of you who are church musicians or have any authority in your local music ministry, pull the music out and let's sing it. Let's honor his legacy. Let's keep it going. Let's embody
Mhm.
the legacy that Richard has left us. I'm sure music ministers and pastors all over the country now are changing their set list or their lineup for music on Sunday morning. I know that's happening right now, even as people are grieving. And so there will be tributes that will be going on for many, many days. But thank you, Ty, for creating this space. Thank you, Ty Squad. I'm just grateful to be able to come and just say a word on behalf of my friend and on behalf of all of us that love him.
Yeah, and I know that so many of the Tyesse Squad are either at work or traveling during this time period. So I made sure to send personal links to some of y'all to your cell phones. So if you didn't catch us live, you would be able to catch the replay. And I'm glad that you were able to come on and talk about somebody that poured so much into your life, brother. I appreciate that. And I'll talk to you a little later today.
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Well, Tyesse Squad, I guess I'll close with a scripture and then we'll get up out of here. I'll be back later on around 3:30ish. Give me the 4 o'clock, y'all. Give me the 4 o'clock. Okay, hold on. Let me see what we got here. We will close with a scripture. I can't take credit for the format. I can take credit for offering a space. But I shout out my sister Dominique DePrima. She used to be on a show called The Front Page every morning from 4:30 to 6 o'clock on KJLH 102.3 FM. I listen to it many mornings before heading out to work. You have to get up early at the 6 o'clock for it. 4:30 to 6 a.m. Dominique DePrima, she had a show called The Front Page. She's on KBLA now. I think she's over there with Tyesse Smiley now, but she would always say, the community table, your community drum is now open. And whenever something big would happen in the Black community, you knew you could call into KJLH and talk about it. Whether it was the Charleston massacre of Black people, whether it was the massacre in Buffalo, or whether it was Aretha Franklin passing, or we knew we could call in and get that thing off of us, that initial thing where we could recapitulate and just talk about it. Because so oftentimes before a lot of these mediums, y'all, before we had a lot of this, we had to sit at home and sit with this. We would call somebody on the phone, but we didn't have social media where we could, do things like we do now, connectivity and connect with each other. And Crystal come up, and Naida come up, and Dr. Tony come up. We didn't have that in the 80s, in the 70s. So even in the early 90s, we were not as connected as we are now. So thank God for that. So I'm going to read a scripture, and then we're going to get up out of here. So thank God for connectivity. I do take credit for being a great host and a great content creator and having a great space. I do take credit for that. All right. But yeah. All right, hold on one second. Let me get the exact scripture, and we're gonna close out of here. We're gonna go to 2 Timothy 4. Hello.
Hey baby, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm live on the air right now. We were just talking about you. If you want to come up, I will make space for you. If you want to, I can make space for you.
Okay. I didn't even know you was online. I'm just dealing with. We just lost Richard.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about now.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I was just getting ready to forward over to you the letter that Pastor A sent out to. Oh Jesus. Oh, this is too much.
I know. I'm on the air, and
Okay.
no, I don't want you to be just if you need to come over to the live, just come over to the live right now.
Okay.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. That was Tim Bree, y'all. Keep her in prayer. Keep her in prayer. Okay, so this is the letter she just sent me from from Pastor Anika Wilson Brown. Yeah, okay. I'll probably be I'll post this on in Patreon. So let me do this. Let me see if she's able. When your emotion is raw like that, sometimes you just can't even formulate the words. And so give me a second. Let me see. Do 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 do. It was Ariel that called me and told me that Aretha Franklin had passed away. I'm glad she called me. I believe I may have been up watching the news, but it was Ariel that called me and told me that Aretha had passed. And sometimes, sometimes that's why it's certain people that can steady you and kind of bring you to a place of peace and comfort. Because sometimes, when you hear news and you get the news, it can really throw you off a little bit. Yeah, it can throw you off a little bit. I just had an epiphany, y'all. I just had an epiphany. My brother's the marker for my brother's transition is tomorrow. He passed away on New Year's Eve, but I did not get the news until January 26th. So I have 2 days that I have to deal with. I have to deal with the day that he passed away, and I have to deal with the day that I found out, which is January 26th, because they had to search for us and find us, and they finally found us over 3 weeks later. But just 13 days before he passed, my aunt passed on the 17th of December. So aunt passed on the 17th, and then my brother passed away on the 31st, but we didn't know about it. And so I think about that, and I wonder, would I have been able to deal with all of that at one time? So sometimes what you think is something else turns out it could be something I just had that epiphany. Sometimes it can shield you from something. Auntie passed on the 17th, and then my brother passed away on the 31st of the same month of the same year. But I wasn't able to get the news until almost a month later. So I don't know. Sometimes life, the universe, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, has a way of shielding and protecting us. So I thank God for that. That was just a little epiphany I had right there. And so we want to continue to keep Timbri lifted in prayer. We will have other opportunities to talk about him and whatnot. And so we will, I'm sure, have a coverage of the homegoing service and all of that. So, Pasquale, just keep your families close, love on people as we go into the new year. We literally have to make a conscious decision to whatever doesn't serve us, we need to make sure that we don't tap into it in 2026. We got to be on our business about exemplifying love, joy, peace, harmony, connectivity. That's the goal for 2026. Timbri, if you are able to come up, I would like to make room for you. I sent you a link. I'm going to put a link in the chat. But if you want to come back and do it another time, I don't have any rush right now. I can offer space for you if you would like to come up. But if you're not able to, the Thai Squad, we understand that as well. Let us know how we can accommodate you at this time. Hey, all right. All right, Timmy, your camera is on. Your camera is on. Do you know your camera is on? Okay, there we go. Hey, Timbery.
Hey there, baby. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I mentioned you at the top of the show because I know how close and how connected you were to Richard Smallwood.
Yes. I was not ready for this. Good morning, afternoon, Thai Squad. Please forgive me. I'm just not there right now. But to the world, he was the greatest musician that wrote gospel music. Is the soundtrack of the gospel world. The Hawkins, Richard Smallwood, Andre Crouch, that era ushered in contemporary gospel music. And all of them are my personal friends. The Hawkins, we had a special relationship together since 1969, 70. Those who might be on the line, the early years of Howard University when gospel wasn't even allowed on school campuses. 1969 was the protest of allowing gospel musicians to even play. And just for history, because we're coming up on Black History Month, and Ty, we'll get into a lot of this on Black History Month. And for our Black musicians, there was a time, including in my brother, who was at Howard University at the time, along with Angela Winbush, the other one who commits suicide up in New York. I'm just trying to think. Donny Hathaway.
Yeah.
All of these were musicians at Howard University, 70. Many of the greats. Henry Davis, who was the musician for the Calvary Crusaders and the Voices Supreme. Many of those, if you know all those musicians back in the day, they were threatened to lose their scholarships if they were caught playing gospel music. And so we got to understand, as the Black church, because you was talking about that last night, the hurt of the Black church, but the Black church was wounded as well. You know what I mean?
True.
We went through a lot of the musicians nowadays don't know what musicians and singers went through back in those days. And we're just talking the 70s. Roberta Flack, yes, Crystal Marshall. Roberta Flack actually taught Richard Smallwood when he was in the 8th grade. She was one of his teachers, and Roberta Flack lived here in D.C. and played for United Methodist Church. Right, if anyone's here from D.C., Lincoln Park United Church, AME Church. So lots of history, but for me, I work with Richard closely in the music department at Union Temple for many years. I've known Richard since I was 10 years old. Yeah. And Wesley Boyd, those who know, Wesley Boyd was one of the original Smallwood singers. So yeah, my brother and Richard went to Howard University. They were classmates together. And so I was the choir director and they were the minister of music. And I worked with Richard for, like I said, for many years. And when I came to Union Temple, I came as a musician and I sang with him. The original I Love the Lord. Those of you can go online. You can find it, Union Temple Young Adult Choir. The original I Love the Lord was recorded first by Union Temple Baptist Church Young Adult Choir. and we did a reunion, and I shared lots of photos. We just did our 50th year reunion that I shared personally with Ty,
Yes.
Tawatha AG from M2A, all of those, Ty is my Ty is my brother from another mother, and I shared photos of Tawatha AG, Richard, Angela, Wimbush, all of us. We were young kids doing music, back in the day, um, and I was a part of the young adult choir from its beginning, and Ty just called out Pastor Anika Wilson Brown.
Mm-hmm.
She was a baby um, and came up through my children's choir. Her and her sister and all, and now they are um, now pastoring the church. Now the father has retired. I was ordained by her father. But I'm just saying, just long history. Union Temple Baptist Church is a historical monument in the Anacostia area of Washington, D.C. To the world, he is the world's greatest musician. To me, he's my big brother. Um, Taught me a lot of music. The buses from here to Milton Brunson in Chicago, Milton Brunson to Tommy's. We've done their anniversaries. All of the greats in Detroit, Donald Vales. We've left Union Temple on a Thursday night, going on tour, going from Buffalo to Detroit to Chicago, and then back home and going to work on Monday morning. That was our life for years, years. Um, and then it got to the point where the choir was too large to carry because um, it was just too expensive to transport a big choir. And this was
Yeah.
back in the days of the Mississippi Mass and all of the big choirs, and so that's where a lot of the birth of these praise teams and all that come from, because it was just too expensive to transport big choirs. Yeah, so that's the birth of the praise team and the birth of the Richard Smallwood Singers. And then they were they did a whole soundtrack for many years, and then um, came Vision. And some of the Vision singers were children in my youth choir. So um, it's just a long history. This is very difficult. Like I said, he's for the world. He's the Richard Smallwood, but for us, he's for many Uncle Buddy. For a lot of the young, we love him, and uh, this is a huge. He's a founder. His father was the founder of Union Temple Baptist Church. His father was a missionary who started churches, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta. You can Google Dr. Chester L. Smallwood. You will find that he is the founder of many historical Black churches all up and down the East Coast,
Wow.
particularly in Atlanta. But Union Temple was his last work um, when he was in his late 70s. And he planted Union Temple Baptist Church, and Richard served there as an original of Union Temple Baptist Church, continuing his father's work. Wow. And Union Temple is now a historic monument in the United States on Afrocentric Black history theology. And that's why I said I can agree with much of some of the things that uh, Bishop failed to talk about, but we cannot dismiss the Afrocentric theology and where we come from as a people. And some of this stuff is just dismissed. But when I talk about some of the books, the dark side of Christian history, and all this, and some of the great Black authors of theology, Martin Luther King came through. The teachers, the same teachers, the same professors at Howard who taught Martin Luther King, Dr. Willie F. Wilson sat under those same theologians.
Mm-hmm.
And so
those theologians, a lot of times they don't discuss that in regards to Dr. King. They'll mention Gandhi, but they won't mention those great theologians.
What is that? Jesus, the Disinherited. I'm just, my brain is real scattered right now, but the author of Jesus, the Disinherited. If somebody can pull that name up.
It is Howard Thurman.
Dr. Howard Thurman. Yes. Dr. Howard Thurman and Dr. Leon Wright. As a matter of fact, our seminary is called the Dr. Leon Wright Seminary. But Dr. Leon Wright and Dr. Howard Thurman, all of these were theologians that went through Howard University that birthed this thing called Afrocentric theology and fleshed it out. That's why Rankin Chapel, all of the greats, the great Black theologians and the great Black preachers go through Rankin Chapel on Sunday morning, because that was the founding place of what we now know as the Black movement, the movement of fleshing out Black theology, historical theology, and the real truth about real true Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not this Western world Christianity. And Martin Luther King sat under Dr. Howard Thurman, and so did Reverend Dr. Willie F. Wilson. And so this is what we've been taught. So a lot of times when y'all hear me talk, I'm talking from a place of the theologians that I have sat under.
Yeah.
And Richard have sat under. So when you hear Richard's music, know that it comes from a deep place, that Black academia on Howard University, called Howard University, and all of your great musicians, and even the sisters, Debbie Allen and her sister, all of them were students in that era. And the last thing that they just did for Richard, Howard University, honoring Richard, if y'all go back and look at it online, Debbie Allen's sister,
Felicia Rashad
was hosting that. All of this is on YouTube, and you'll see the history that they talk about. And all of that started in the 60s. So we're not far from what we call the Black evolution of moving, and Black people moving in spaces. And I come from that era of the early 60s, the marches and the 63 march on Washington and all like this. And Richard was a student, 18 and 19 years old at that time. One song he wrote, "Pray for an Answer."
Mm-hmm.
Where are we headed, my brothers, my sisters? And he was writing then about Vietnam. But his music is timeless because we need to pray for an answer. That's one of the songs on one of his albums. And it's so true today. We have to pray for it because we were dealing with these things then, and we're still dealing with the things now. So he was way, 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 way ahead of his time in the song writing. One of the first musicians to infuse gospel music with jazz and classical.
Yeah. Brian was just speaking about that earlier, Timbri.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kurt Carr picked it up from Richard Smallwood. He's a product of, I'm just saying, but
Mhm.
the chords and the structure and the musical, all like that. And what's his name in New York? James Hall.
Yeah.
That fusion of classical and all that, and gospel and those melodic chords. That's from Richard Smallwood. Yeah, he was one of the first to do it. And his inspiration was, um, we sung, we sung Andre Crouch. That was, he was learning. See, because now it was changing from that old the hymn roll
Hmm.
to Andre Crouch was one of the first that was really, that hand, that type adding the jazz into, and
Infusion.
yeah, and see, here goes the thing. We were called look, we were to call heretics of our day
Yeah.
because, that music was sacrilegious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. There was.
Anything that challenged the orthodoxy or the status quo.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. And so, you know what, that music, and then it became now, now the people, they don't even want to hear the praise team music because that has changed from what the choir music is, because this is, oh, this doesn't give us anything, so yeah. James Cone, yes, yes. Kane Hopefelder took over Howard University from Jeremiah Wright, absolutely. Kane Hopefelder. Trouble. There's another book. So who Anthony wrote that in there. Trouble in Biblical Waters.
Yeah.
Yes. From Kane Hopefelder. Yes. That's another book to get. The brother who just put that in there. Yes. All of those preachers have come through and spoken at Union Temple, and Reverend Wilson was very good friends, and he came once a year, Carlton Pearson, um, and preached at Union Temple.
Oh wow.
Any, yeah, all of the I've sat next to many of these theologians, just sitting in the pulpit with them, and being of service. These are our greats, and no matter what the world says about them, um, and us, our Ty Squad, and Larry, and all, and we are very on it in the Ty Squad because we know our Black history,
Yeah.
and Black history, and our history, and the origins of how we come in our generation to celebrate the God of our salvation through Afrocentric lenses and through our history, our people, how we dance, how we clap, how it's not foreign to us.
Yeah.
And it is our superpower. It is our strength, um, of how we survive this racist world that we live in. Many know Richard as, the Smallwood Singers and Vision. A lot of those songs on there, the young adult choir recorded it years ago. So he re-recorded it under the Richard Smallwood Singers and Vision.
Hmm.
But you go back and look, the Union Temple Young Adult Choir, pull up some of those, you will see many of those same songs. So he always laughed at us and says we were his guinea pigs. But yes, I just know the love that he had for his people, and anybody who ever knew Richard. Yeah, you got a lot of musicians, and their status, they can walk by you and turn their nose up at you and all like that.
Yeah.
To know Richard was to know a very humble um, brother.
Somebody else said that. Naida said the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
To know him, you know, there was no high and no, you know, I'm grand, and he had all of the reason. You know, he's worked with some of the best. He did even with Kim Burrell in New York. He put Kim Burrell on his album called Journey, live in New York, because every place he did a live recording, he did at a certain place. He did one of the best ones was the one in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
with Sharice Nelson McIntosh, um, um, and so many other ones. And many of those were kids that come right out of Union Temple. So Union Temple was a birthplace, and Greater Mount Calvary
Oh wow.
in Washington D.C. with Bishop Alfred Owens, two sister churches, great musicians. The soundtracks of gospel music for DC came out of those two churches, and I just honor them as well. All of the musicians, and those musicians shared with each other. We wasn't no thing of no competition and no nothing. We spent our years and Myrna Summers. Let me throw her in there as well. Myrna Summers out of Church of God in Christ. Um, all of these people, we sit and ate dinner. We would sing all day long. Rita Womack, who wound up in California. All of these people were young teenagers, 17, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. We were building the church then. We didn't know what we were doing per se. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't know we were creating history. We just
Doing the work.
we were just kids, and we love. That's why I love listening to Valerie Spencer. You know what? Because you talk about Keith Pringle. Keith Pringle used to play for Union Temple when he lived in D.C.
Mm.
Hmm. He played for Union Temple when he moved to D.C. All of the musicians. It's just a history of, and that's why when I listen to Val talk, and we talk about, and how, all of the things in the music that we've done and how things used to be, I identify with her so much because that's what we did. And we were creating, and just like when you talk about your pastor, you was creating history.
Yeah.
We just knew we were just moving and doing, but we didn't know that we were a part of history.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm just going on and on, but you know
No,
what? I
it's
mean,
okay. It's okay because sometimes talking is a part of healing as well.
yeah,
It
yeah,
starts the initial process of healing.
yeah,
Just
it
talking
is.
about, with somebody. Yeah.
But he's been sick for a long time. He's fought for a long time.
Okay.
My pastor, senior pastor, retired in 2019, and they started the ministry together because Pastor Wilson also was a student at Howard University. He was getting his master's in divinity, and that's how he came to Union Temple because him and Richard were classmates there at Howard, and everybody just joined the choir that sang for Pastor Smallwood's funeral became the soundtrack of the I Love the Lord, Pray for an Answer, Edward Sully, He's Able. That He's Able is also on um, the Smallwood Singers um, album.
Okay.
But He's Able was originally recorded by Edward Sully um, out of Reidsville, North Carolina. But he was a head figure of Union Temple. All of Howard University at that era was Union Temple,
Okay.
uh, and that was because of Richard Smallwood. Um, and the fellowship that we had, that we shared all day, all night, on the road, on buses, on planes, flying everywhere, traveling on buses everywhere. We were on the road almost every weekend, traveling. And It's nothing to pack your clothes up, have your clothes in the suitcase in the trunk of your car. Because when you got back on Monday morning, you were headed straight to work. We held down jobs and we were building um, a community.
Okay.
That's why you always hear me talk about the Tyesse Report being community. Yeah, yeah, community. That's that's why that's why I love my Thai squad so much, because we represent community and we look for each other. I remember just some CC put in the chat the other day, "Hey, haven't seen Callie yet. Hey, how is Callie doing?" And then I asked you even about McNair. You know why? Because we community. We
Mm-hmm.
ain't just here just to be here. And I know that the other people, they all of that beef stuff all out there. Let me just tell you, I'm not into that stuff here. I've locked into this here. Candy down there in Florida.
Yeah.
We're talking that same language of community and how we help and how we educate each other to be
Mhm.
better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was Tanisha LaFleur. She hit me up in the email and she said it moved her because I had said when she came in the chat, "Where have you been? I've been missing you," and people are amazed that I know you're not here. And it's something. It's amazing how the brain operates. I know who's not here, and it's hundreds of people.
Yeah.
But I've been doing it so long. I think my mind sees things and focuses on things. But she was so moved by that she said actually she was in school and she was studying it, and so she was dealing with academics, and so she was away for a couple of weeks. And yes, I noticed. I know when people are not here. Now let me
Mhm.
say this, Timbery. I know there when people are here that I mesh with and love and care about. But yeah, I do notice that. Yeah,
Well, yeah, because listen, when you come into community,
yeah.
um, and you just come in, like you say, come in and grab a seat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. In Union Temple, one time, at one point, we had two services, and Union Temple holds 3,000 people. The sanctuary can hold 3,000, and so we had, in both the 8 o'clock and the 11 o'clock was jam packed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, we used to say, "Brothers, can you stand up and let this?" My pastor used to say all a lot of time, "Brothers, can you stand up and let the sisters have a seat?" The
Yeah.
brothers would be standing up around the walls. It was jam packed at that time, um, in the early day. Um, it and so, but it didn't matter. What I was trying to say was, doesn't matter how packed it was.
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Wilson knew his people.
Yeah.
If you were there, if you show up and you become a part of and get involved in, um, you are your family, and somebody will know you,
Mm-hmm.
and then after a while, everybody will know you.
Yeah.
But you got to show up.
Yeah.
One thing, and I was, because I love Larry Reed, but one thing he said, one thing that when I said I disagree with him, he said something when he says, "If you've been a part of a church for 50 years, you're crazy." He said that. He says,
Mm-hmm.
if you've been sitting in anybody's church under any pastor for 50 years, you are crazy, dumb, and stupid. That's why I said there's some things I just disagree with. No, because I've been a part of Union Temple for literally 50 years. I joined in 1975.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been an active member for 50 years, and I'm far from being crazy. We built a community. We built a soundtrack to the world. No. Um, some places and some things, institutions, that's the difference between an institution and just, and black people have built institutions.
Yeah.
Come on,
I don't
don't.
I don't know the context in which Dr. Reed said it, But I can say this. I have said now, Tim Bree, and maybe you agree with this. I have said that when you are in spaces that are like being in the valley of dry bones,
Yes, absolutely.
you're staying there out of commitment for the legacy because your mama went there and Big
Right.
Mama went there. It was toxic then, but you're staying there on a continuum. I was like that at my church for a while. I didn't want to leave after Archbishop had left. I felt like I was leaving him. I didn't understand that I wasn't leaving Archbishop and his teachings. I
Right.
was I was evolving out of a spiritual place that birthed me and gave me life. But to
I'm the
stay
first.
there would be a disservice to me spiritually, if that makes
Absolutely. You heard me say many times, if you ain't where you are growing
sense. Hmm.
and the place is not growing and you are not growing, get up out of there. I'm the first one.
Hmm.
I'm the first one to tell you if you ain't growing. But no, that statement he made was a blanket like a brush.
Okay, Dr. Reed is in the chat. He said
Yeah.
that ain't what I said. He said I was.
Oh, that's absolutely. Go back and pull it. If you are in it, go back. Let they say the receipts are there. Then Larry, I love you much, but I'm just saying, yeah. And there's a thing called church brain, absolutely.
He said
But
I
I'm
was
just saying, not
interconnected
everywhere.
churches.
Only
Okay.
thing I'm, yeah. Only thing I'm just saying, not every place, not every church, and not every pastor is um church brain and teaching church. There are some people that are doing the work,
Okay.
and 50 years because it was it. And then I'm telling you, and it's on your tape on your one of your videos. He said if you sitting in any place for 50 years, and that hit home for me because I said no, I'm there for 50 years, and I was a part of building um uh uh, uh something that the next generation could hang their hat on and create businesses and you know um, create jobs for our people. And we owned at one time we owned 100 apartment unit complexes. So there are not everybody's just taking money and everybody's just doing craziness. That's all I was just saying.
Okay,
I'm
so everybody, Larry and Tim Bree, they know each other. Tim Bree was knowing Larry before she knew me.
I'm
So they
Larry knows me, and you know what? And I can say, and I love Larry, and I know Larry loves me. I was just saying on that particular instance. I was Larry's. Larry can go back and pull his records when they first came out with Patreon. I was one of his first Patreons.
yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing: we can learn to love and to agree and disagree. I was just talking about on that one part where he says, "If you've been under any ministry for 50 years, you are dumb, stupid, and crazy." Whatever it was, he said.
Okay, he has sent me the video, and he has sent, so I'm gonna roll it. To be fair to Dr. Reed, I will roll it.
Roll it.
All right, let me roll it, and we'll see what was said, Tim Bree. And if there's a need for anything on Tim Bree's end, I'm sure she
I
don't like.
listen. Oh, I will, but make sure you got the right video now.
Okay, all right. We're gonna roll it as soon as we can rack it here.
Yeah.
For those
Listen,
that,
Larry knows he's my boy, and like I said, I've been rocking with Larry. Oh, oh, now
oh
you
wait,
gonna make me.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to put that. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh, Jesus. No, I can
Oh,
laugh. I can
oh my
laugh.
God. I hope I didn't trigger Tim Bree. I was trying to put that up while I get this video rack.
My baby, that's my brother. Ah, y'all have to see some of the back in the '60s. The huge Richard had a huge afro way back in the. Oh God.
Okay. We're getting the video wrapped right now, everybody. Continue to talk, Tim Bree.
Yeah.
You said Howard University was like a
Well, it was the mecca. It was the mecca of Black academia, Black art, Black music. That's 68 to about 70. All of your top musicians and artists, they all came out of Howard University. Howard University, and now we go into the Taraji P. Hensons and all of the what's the name? Comedian Blackish. What's his name? Anthony Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. All
okay, we have the video. We have it. Let me see. Here we go. Let's run the tape.
Anybody that has sat in the church for decades, especially the same church, you're in a mental crisis. It's the way the religion is set up in the culture in the church. It is toxic for thinking and coming to your own personal resolve, critical thinking and active listening. All of that stuff you go to learn at the therapist. Your pastor send you there to go do that so you can get right. But they don't know you've been attached to them and under their teaching was what fucking up what the therapist's trying to do.
There you go. Now I need you to run that one more, like you say, run that one more time.
Okay.
Anybody that has sat in the church for decades, especially the same church, you're in a mental crisis. It's the way the religion is set up.
Okay. He didn't say stupid. He said a mental crisis.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know, we're what I'm saying, that's what you call tomatoes.
Okay.
Especially the same church.
But would you agree, Timmy, would you agree the way you analogize it, it was a little harsher than mental crisis?
Mental crisis, you're telling someone that they are mentally ill. Mental crisis, I'm just simply saying when you say, and especially, let me say it because he was very pointed, especially the same church. I'm sorry. I've been in the same church for 50 years. Every word that he said applied to me.
Okay. And I can accept that you felt it because you were in a church for a long period of time, you felt it personal. Okay, I can receive that.
Because he said and he said that, and now have Pastor Wilson made some mistakes? Has he? Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing to do with pastors, including me. You learn what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But here goes something else. You learn what not to do. Sometimes we have to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it out of context. I just took what you said. Like y'all said, no, I'm taking what you said. I'm not analyzing it. I just took verbatim what you said.
Mental crisis doesn't necessarily mean crazy though.
Okay.
You could be in a mental crisis and not be crazy. I've been there.
Yeah. But if you need to rerun it again, it really just says basically that whole statement that he made was that pastor that you are following in that pastor's thing, and that you basically, in his words always he used, is church brain, and that you are functioning the way that they want you to function, and all that's what that whole synopsis was. And I'm saying that's not true, because a good pastor will teach you to be a critical thinker. A good pastor, because I don't have to agree with everything they say. I don't have to agree with everything you say, Ty. I don't even have to agree with everything Larry says.
Yeah.
But we can maintain fellowship because I respect you first as a human being. I respect you as a thinking child of God, and that you have your own mind. And how iron sharpens iron is we talk and we come in and we chit chat and we learn from each other. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Church brain, in mental crisis, all of that. I just maybe added the word crazy and stupid on there, but basically,
would you agree? Would you agree, Timberlake?
Absolutely.
Would you agree that some of your words may have been a little
Absolutely.
incendiary.
Absolutely. But you know what? The whole context of the whole, if you play that whole video once again, it's why are you coming? It's your, now I don't want to use the word attacking, but you are really saying to people that if you've been in any place for any length of a long time under one pastor, that you are in a mental crisis. I'm not in a mental crisis because number one, I sat under a person who was a psychological professor himself, and is his daughter. His daughter has a whole PhD in psychotherapy. I mean, she's a what do you call it, CME, all of she's a therapist, a social
Yeah.
work, and all like that. So Union Temple is a place that is taught critical thinking, and we are a mental health facility.
Okay.
The NAAA program was birthed out of Union Temple back in the day when there was no such thing as NA and AA being housed in a church. That was an absolute no to have alcoholics and drug addicts. How dare you come in the church talking about, but Union Temple was a part of a thing that, we were the first church in Washington D.C. to have a place in our building that NAAA had meetings 3 times a week. So,
okay, let me maybe I can bring some closure to this. I think Dr. Reed is very comfortable with the terminology that you may have been triggered by that, Tim Bray. Can we? I think we can come to a happy medium. You may have been triggered by it based on your experience in church, at church.
That's true, and what he's saying is partially true as well. Okay. I just say, give latitude that is not the case of all people across America. Yes, we have been taught a horrible theology. And yes, we have to admit that.
Okay.
And then, but there are people like Alfred Street Baptist Church, John Wesley. There are the Cohens of this world. There are the Carlton Pearsons of this world. They're the Jeremiah Wrights of this world. There is the Dr. Freddie Haynes of this world.
Otis Moss
of this world. The other one who took over from in Chicago, Sharp. There's some people out here. There's what's her name?
Blunder in OCI.
Yeah. Oh God, there's so many people that are on it. So I always say, if you're not in the right place, run. But don't paint the brush. And that's what I saw. I'm just saying what I saw from that when you said that statement, that paint the brush across,
Okay, so Dr. Reed, I don't want to cause any problems with your friend. I don't want to trigger your friend. But if you would like to come up and say anything just in defense of your statement, you're more than welcome to.
No, I'm not trashing him. I just as a matter of fact, I came on, I just laughed at him. I'm just saying.
I would like to offer him the same opportunity. If he would like to come up, but I don't want to cause any confusion with your friend.
No.
So
I was just saying that from a standpoint that there are some places and people, and just honoring the legacy of that. Sometimes building institutions and monuments, and even what he's trying to do and doing what he's got to do in Dubai and all like that. He's trying to build a place, a thing that Black people can do investments on. And so I'm just saying, hey, let's honor all of the Black people out there who are doing the work, and not just paint each other, because we do that well too.
Yeah.
Pushing each other down and saying that we're in mental crisis or whatever. No, we're not in that either.
Okay.
Not everyone.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
I have spoken on this, what Dr. Reed spoke about. I have spoken on that a lot. I just think that we have to get away from staying in spaces. It does not have to be a traditional church. Any space that does not
Any
serve,
space.
any space that don't serve. That could be a marriage, Tim Bree. It could be. It could be.
I'm in that right now. Sometimes it's okay to take sabbaticals.
Yeah, like I'm good. I got to take a break,
Oh,
or if you need to leave and evolve and grow and move to another space, it's okay. You're not betraying God. You're not betraying that ministry. That ministry served a purpose up until a point,
up
and
until
it no longer is pouring into you. You are only pouring into it.
and sometimes it's for you to move on to your what's next.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes, and it's not sometimes, it's not if, it's when. There's a time and a place for you to be in a certain particular place at a certain time. There was a time, and I love music, and I grew up in music. Music, I come out of a whole family of nothing but musicians and pastors. I mean, we were in the music department, but you know what? It was at a point in time where God made it very difficult for me, that I couldn't even listen to music on the radio for 3 years. I couldn't turn the music on in my car because I had to separate from music because of where he was carrying me next. And now to this day, I don't even know a lot of the gospel, some of the, like a lot of the gospel music and the artists now.
I don't need.
Because I got to a point because I had to go into study mode and go back to school and do this next leg of my life. But he had to take the music from me because I loved it so much. And I thought that my ministry was music. And through that, I was doing the counseling and was doing the NAAA stuff with, people. But it was from the music standpoint because I had a choir of 150 people, and many of them in there had addiction problems. So I was funneling that work through our NAAA program, but it was all under the auspices of music. But it got to a point where I had to shut it down. I didn't even shut it down. The Lord took it from me, period, because I loved it so much. But when you're not obedient and walking in your purpose, then what you are doing will become uncomfortable to you, and it'll get to a point that you don't even like the taste in your mouth of it, whatever that thing is. Because when God wants you at one place and you're lingering because you love something else and you love it so much, but God has a bigger, better plan for you in your life, and he knows where he wants you to go, that other thing, and I'll put this in a place where, here goes my brother again, Larry. It got to a point where that ratchet thing, the shows that he was doing, no longer served him, and he had to leave it alone. You remember, so Larry, I'm back giving you your kudos, because he stopped doing, the broadcasters and the things the way he was doing, and he started moving to a whole different. You're on mute, Ty.
I tried to put it on 2 hours, y'all, and I made a mistake and put it on 2 minutes, and the trolls just came out like roaches. So yeah, it should be fixed now. It's yeah. I'm sorry, everybody. I saw one slip through because I had put it on 20 minutes because I wanted everybody to be able to speak. But yeah, you can't do it. You try, but you just can't do it. They came out like
yeah.
But
I'm just saying that at a point in time in your life, if you're supposed to be doing something in life and God has a specific purpose for you, and he does for everyone, you just have to be in alignment with that purpose. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has a calling. And it's up to us to seek out and know what our calling and our talents are, and work on that. But and you're going to have to shift and pivot. This is some of the other things that you and Bees on Mars talk about. We talk about this all the time: shifting and pivot, and
Mm,
know how to and when to.
yeah.
Yeah,
So when it no longer serves you, if it no longer serves
yeah.
you or no longer brings you anything, you have to walk away.
And overseer, where I agree, and you know what? When and if you're in any church that does not allow you to be a critical thinker, run. You know, and if you don't have pastors or leaders that support, um, your individuality to, be productive. And then we got a group of people who come in there who want to run things and just as crazy as a bed bug, but we know that too.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see that, we have to address that too. But um, this here is um, Anacostia is where home of the big chair. Yes, the Curtis brother big chair. It's a national monument. Um, it's a historic site in Washington D.C. and then that chair can never be. That used to be Curtis Brothers, a big furniture company back in the 50s and 60s.
Oh wow.
As a matter of fact, Ty, you did a story on Anacostia being one of the most dangerous city areas in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You did one on Anacostia.
Oh wow.
Well, come on through there now because all of the white folks have moved in. They even walk their dogs through our parking lot.
That's how it was in my neighborhood in LA before I left. I said
Oh yeah.
they walking poodles over here and okay.
You
And
would
all
not.
these Starbucks are popping up everywhere.
Oh,
So
there's a Starbucks right on Martin Luther King.
mhm.
There's they got hotels moving. The DC Lottery has been there, but they're building hotels all around there. Anacostia was the last to be gentrified in the city, and it is totally gentrified now. But thanks be to God that Pastor Wilson had the vision to put a mark down, and Mother Mabel Smallwood broke the ground on the
Mhm.
new place. Speaking of Richard Smallwood, to know Richard Smallwood is to know his mother, and I don't want to leave out without honoring her.
Yes.
Um, Mabel Smallwood, one of the most beautiful women spiritually and physically. To look at Richard and his good looks, honey, is to know his mama. But you talking about fried chicken from heaven. Because we used to have what we call fellowship dinners every first Sunday when we
Mhm.
take communion. We also had fellowship dinner where all of the you bring a potluck. See, this is now we're talking about the old school church from the country, but that those of that era were from the South and they
Mhm.
put their practices. But you have not lived until you had Mother Mabel Smallwood string beans and her fried chicken and her macaroni and cheese. Lord Jesus have me. They say, Lord Jesus, come to the meeting. You got saved over her fried chicken.
Yeah, those women, I don't know. I know
Mhm.
down home they use a certain type of a lot of women back in those days, especially even when I was a kid, they used lard. They wasn't
Lord.
afraid to use lard.
Oh yeah, they use Lord. Oh yeah.
They would put that big old white slab in that cast iron skillet
Yes, Lord.
and let it melt down
Oh
and
yeah.
baby that chicken it would just be like blessing your spirit as it's going down. So it
Yeah.
was really good. And the
There
string
was
beans with the white potatoes. Yeah.
if and all of those who have the Richard Smallwood, I'll just share this one little piece with you.
Mm-hmm.
When she was not transitioning yet, but she was at late age, and his album that he recorded live at Jericho, and he always did a piano solo. Every album he's ever recorded, he did a piano solo on every album. But the one that he did live in DC, it's live at Jericho. I forget the name of it. Someone can look it up. But there's his piano solo was called It Is Well with My Soul. And when he played that song, I cannot tell you how he made it through that song all the way to the end. And this is a live recording. But Jericho holds 10,000 people, and it was filled to the brim. I'm just pointing a picture out to you. 10,000 plus people in that building that night. And he was playing It Is Well with My Soul. And it got to a point where she would holler when he was playing. She got happy. And when Mother Smallwood got happy, her happy was that, what you call that Baptist fit. She would holler, glory! But she had a high soprano pitch voice. And she just hollered glory. And she just hollered. That's all she. And so it was his playing, and he was playing the ding, ding, that classical, and he was just playing. And all you could hear was her hollering glory. And for a period of time, the whole church went silent. Nobody, it was like you could hear a mouse run around in that church. 10,000 people was in there, and it was his playing and her hollering glory. Him playing and her hollering glory. She was just about to transition, but she was there at that recording. That was the last live recording that she was able to attend. But anyone that was there that night knows what I'm talking about. But it's on the recording, and all you hear is her hollering glory. And she was supposedly, in a stage of dementia, at that time. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something: the Holy Ghost supersedes dementia.
I've seen that. I've seen that. Oh, yes. I've seen it with my mother.
Yeah. And that there, whew, if you were part of that service or you played that album, you will know the connection between him and his beautiful mom. And she was a mentor to Black women. And she had her own foster care business. She had, and all of the young people who have come through her home. She has been a mother to many. So I'm just saying, that spirit, that generational thing that's just passed down, to know him is to know his mom. Wow. And I'm just blessed to know to have had them both as part of my journey and the who and whose I am now. That's and me and many of my friends, we've all been friends for over 50, 60 years. And when Rem Smallwood, there's another great historical church in Washington, D.C. called Greater New Hope Baptist Church. Is right downtown in Chinatown. Many of the historic Black Baptist churches in D.C., he was the founder of. Purity Baptist on Maryland Avenue. I'm talking to anybody, all of my DMV people. All these churches were founded. New Southern Rock in Northwest. All these churches are sister churches. They were all, that was his mission. That was his ministry. He would plant churches. A lot of churches in Philadelphia and a lot of churches in Atlanta. He was based in Atlanta a lot. Chester L. Smallwood. And you can Google that. He was a great man of his day. So I thank y'all for letting me talk and laugh and banter with Larry. I know this is way out of your realm, but it has helped me. It has helped me to process it. Now I have to go and do the steps, just like now someone put in the chat, do we know what DC is going to do? Um, um, it's all fresh now, and it I'm quite sure his sisters and his brothers will let us know what the next steps will be.
Yeah.
He's got family, and Darren. He just did he was head of the Howard University. That was one of his mentees as well. I'm quite sure he's going to take over um, the musical tribute probably, but he did the last piece what they did at Howard, also with Twinkie Clark, because Twinkie Clark was at Howard. The great Clark sisters, Twinkie Clark was at Howard University during that era as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Twinkie, eventually left and
yes,
pursued music full time, but she always gives Howard props when she tells her story.
yes.
Yeah.
Part of that, if you go back and look at part of that, the film of the Clark sisters,
Hmm.
you will see, Mattie Moss Clark had a vision for them, and Twinkie wanted to, you know, do school, and she was teaching McKinley Tech High School here in DC as well. The music. She was there for a little while, but she wanted to branch out and do things on her own,
Hmm.
and she wanted to go to school, but um, the brand, the Clock Sisters, pulled her away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, but she came through there as well, and they honored her. That was the one of the last honors, and that's on Howard University at Crampton Auditorium. Or Rankin Chapel. It's one or two, but where they honored her and Richard together, and Felicia Rashad was the MC.
Hmm.
And if you look at that video, you'll get a lot of history on and where they're talking about Donny Hathaway and all of them. That's a very good piece when you get a chance to pull it up on YouTube and watch it. And that was just before he became, very ill, but yeah, but to God be the glory.
Well, thank you so much, Timber, for coming on and giving us
I
history.
didn't know. Look, I sat with you last night while you did your countdown of the 25.
Hmm.
Phew, I didn't see this one on the.
Not at all.
No,
Not,
we
not,
don't. And
not the way it
like you
is
just
with-
said, I didn't see this on your radar. How you always say that being one. I did, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, and there's no way I could have. There's no way I could have articulated DC and DC's history the way you did. I could only come on and talk about Richard Smallwood in the capacity that I understood and knew him musically. But you were able to give us a vast history, not only of Richard Smallwood, but of DC and
Yeah.
Black music, gospel music in DC.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is way what you gave it was way out of my scope of what I would have been able to share with my audience. So we thank you for doing that while also grieving your friend, your mentor, your brother. Thank you for that, Timber.
And here's the thing, you know what? At the end of the day, all of these people, they're just ordinary people.
Yeah.
Roberta Flack, all of these people, you know, before it was Killing Me Softly, she was a minister of music. She was the teacher over at Elliott Junior High School, right across from Eastern High School. Elliott Junior High and Eastern face as well. We know Eastern High School, for those who are, there's when they light the Christmas tree every year, there was a high school in always there to sing the Christmas music. Eastern High School always sung the Christmas music to light the Christmas tree. Joyce Garrett, Richard Smallwood. She knew how to play music by sheet music and all like that. But Richard taught her how to play by ear because he had to go and travel one Sunday, and he left her in charge of the service. That was her first service that she played, where he charted out all of the music, charted out the whole service for her, and she carried the whole service. The great Joyce Garrett.
Is she
But
still with us?
yes, yes. But
Okay.
she went on to be the minister of music at Alfred Street Baptist Church, which is where now John Wesley is.
Okay.
I'm just saying to you, you know what? You have no idea. I'd love, from a historical standpoint, because I'm a griot person, but connecting the dots, you will see that a lot of these people, their lives began with their history in terms of going to that next level. Was there you go. Here's someone Naida knows. Joyce Garrett, yeah. So Naida knows, since she knows what I'm talking about, then yeah, because Joyce Garrett is one who brought gospel and secular together, yeah. And they were honored at the White House, and they did the Christmas lighting of the Christmas tree every year. But all of these people came out of Union Temple. Joyce Garrett came out of Union Temple as well. But she went on to be the minister of music at another historic church, Alfred Street Baptist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so this is all of the y'all just did something in Atlanta, the who's who of Atlanta. There's going to be a who's who of Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
Because there's a lot of people. Craig and Zuri, Craig Lewis and Zuri Lord band. Zuri Craig came out of Union Temple. He was part of that youth choir under Joyce Garrett.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a product of Union Temple. And then he came down to Clark to go to college.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Zuri Craig was part of our youth choir. Yeah. So it's, when I think about that, that's what makes me know that the history of our music is in good hands, because all of these people were babies. Lord, I thank you. It's just coming up to me that Lord, I thank you by the Richard Smallwood Singers. That's done, recorded by Minister Sharice McIntosh Nelson. Lord, I thank you on his live in Atlanta. For waking me up this morning. If y'all know who I'm talking, y'all talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Lord, I thank you. Yeah.
Lord, I thank you. Yes. Yes. She was a little baby in my youth choir. Her and her brother. Her brother was a master drummer. Yeah. And I'm praying for Sharice too, because she was original member of Vision.
Okay.
Yeah. And she was just here for Thanksgiving, in town for Thanksgiving. And her mom is my best friend, one of my best friends. So this is a huge family loss. But these are the people who, when you look at all over the world, but I just want to say, these are just normal, everyday people just trying to do a work. Yeah. There's no grandeur. All of these people will see you right at the mall and give you a hug, speak to you, and just love you. But we were just all at one point just sitting around on the front porch eating ice cream between services. Just young kids. But as they say, let it be recorded this day in the Chronicles. A great man has touched thousands and millions lives, where they now even convert his music into other languages.
Yeah.
And to know once know that we just rode the bus for hours, going from one concert to another, laughing and giggling and not even knowing what God had for us.
Yeah.
But so glad to be a part of this history, and so glad to be a part of Task Squad. Because you know what? Even in your Task Squad, and everybody talking about the DMV, look how Ty, you hear me always talk about collect the dots and connect the dots.
Yeah.
Look how we connecting the dots.
Mm-hmm.
Look how we connecting and collecting, and we are all connected some kind of way.
Now that is the truth.
And I love that. Love that. And you know what? I had to tell you, when I got myself together, you're one of the first persons I call.
Oh wow, that means a lot. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
My phone is jumping.
I hear it, but thank you.
You hear it, it's just beeping. But you
Yeah.
know what? I says, I gotta call Ty. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
call Ty. Only because I knew if it hit out, I just wanted you to be, if not one of the first people, I just wanted to make sure that I shared it with you, just like I shared because some things I have to hold back and keep private for his personal life. But you know what? The other things I share with you.
Well, thank you so much, Timbri. We're praying peace and solace to you today. We speak out all the names of those that Angela Winbush and so many people in the industry that called him a friend, a father, a mentor, a brother. So we surround everybody today. And thank you for coming up again, sis.
Yeah. He wrote so much music for Angela Winbush. He wrote all. She went on to, when she left us, she went on to. She got a audition to go to audition for Stevie Wonder and what's called Wonder Love, and now we're in your realm. All of that, the history of all of that, but but he
a lot of my girls came through Wonder Love. Denise Williams and Suze. I want to say Suze Green. It was one of the Supremes that came. Probably Suze Green. But Wonder Love was really Minnie Riperton. A lot of those ladies came either through that experience or was connected through that experience with Stevie and Wonder Love. So yeah. Gotta love Angela. Angela's in my top 20. She is. Yeah.
She's my, and my ex-husband. Oh God, he loves her to life. But she's all of us grew up, as they say, we all grew together. We were all there 18, 19, 20 years old, and we've all been friends for over 50 years.
Yeah, Linda Lawrence.
Yeah.
Linda Lawrence, Suze Green. A lot of them girls came out of Wonder Love.
Yeah.
But we thank God. We thank God for the ability to come together today and remember the life of Richard Smallwood today.
A great man of God. And like Twinkie Clark, the Lord gave him the gift to translate scripture into music.
Yeah.
There's only a few that really, and Kurt Carr does it as well. But Twinkie, and where they take scripture and they really wrote from scripture. They were prophetic in their writing, and to this day, all of those musicians, the music that, if you listen to all of their music, it has a thread of today, of what's going on today. Andre Crouch, Walter Hawkins, Edwin Hawkins, Richard Smallwood, those musicians wrote prophetically from scripture.
Yeah,
they did.
And it was healing. It was healing. Whatever you needed, you could get it.
Yeah. Healing for your soul. Yeah. There's a little, here you go. There's a bomb in Gilead.
Yes, I'm gonna put some of that on right now and let it in my house and I'm gonna put that playlist on and let it go today, because
you do that and then put Kurt Carr on and all of that, honey. You'll be flying out the windows.
Oh yeah, and see, I don't even mess with Thomas Whitfield because
he's
so unsung and underrated a lot of times in the conversation. But hallelujah, anyhow. Oh my God, Thomas Whitfield. And he had a sound that he was able to transfer to Vanessa Bell Armstrong in her first couple of albums. And when you listen to Vanessa Bell Armstrong's first 2-3 albums, man, if you don't know God, you'll ask about him. You really, you really will. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kimberly.
all right then. Y'all be blessed. Take
Love you.
care. Love you
All
too.
right. Bye-bye.
Okay.
We'll be checking in with you.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Listen, I thought I was going to be able to do all the things I wanted to do, but sometimes things just take precedent. I'm going to have to rearrange my day a little bit. I may be able to go to one of the stores or one of the errands I have planned, and I'll just move everything to tomorrow. Mama used to say sometimes you was going to go somewhere and you don't know what would have happened over there. So she used to always say that. When your day gets changed around, she would always say, thank God for that, because you don't know, you may have went somewhere and some may have broke loose. So I remember Mom used to always say that. So I'll move my day around a little bit, y'all, and maybe I'll do one errand today and 3 tomorrow. Right? All right. But I don't mind giving room for a great man of God. So thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. I love you. I thank y'all so much. And we will, I'm going to still try to squeeze in maybe a 4:30 show about this article that I read and everything. And so I'll let y'all know about that. You'll see the thumbnail. Since we've been on, I've seen the influx of subscriptions. Thank you so much. Just in the 2 hours, it did not feel like 2 hours, but in the 2 hours that I've been on, we've got a lot of subscriptions. Thank you so much. Consider hitting the like button. Consider hitting the like button as well. Also, consider subscribing if you have not. His music will live on forever. If you want to support great independent journalism, you can do so right here at those cash donation sites if you choose to do so. It is not a requirement. It is not mandated. But if you enjoyed this beautiful, beautiful memorialization of Richard Smallwood, thank you so much. We would appreciate it. All right. Okay. It's time to go, y'all. I haven't eaten breakfast or lunch. All right. I will see everybody maybe around 4:30, 4:30-ish. We'll see what we can do. All right. Have a wonderful day. And long live the King, Richard Smallwood. I think we have another yeah, we do. We have another one. Okay, let's get that going.